Hello fragrance family and friends, I'm Tommy and welcome to Studio Sense. If you're a guy out there and you're just getting started in fragrances, and by that I mean owning more than one or two fragrances, and you're not sure about what to get, you got a little bit of money, tax season is here, you got some tax money you want to spend on fragrances, you set a little bit aside, you got about 250 bucks, but you're not sure what to spend it on, I've got just the answer for you. In today's video, we're going to look at 10 fragrances that round up to be about 250, maybe just a little bit over. So when we return, we're going to go over that starter kit of fragrance for men, that and more, so stay tuned. Hey guys, and welcome back. So I've done this video before, it's been about a year ago, but I had a starter kit for men just starting out, how to start out as a beginner to spend $250. So I tried to select ones that will fully cover your date night fragrance needs, your aquatic fragrance needs, your freshy needs. Try to combine them all in one and not go over $250. In terms of state or city tax, it may vary just a little bit. All right guys, we've got 10 fragrances to go over in this starter kit. If you're just starting out, the very first fragrance I recommend, and I did start from the most expensive, and we're gonna go down to the least expensive. If you know anything about the House of Chanel, you know they don't discount their fragrances, and they're also decently expensive for a design house. A very popular blue fragrance for men is Chanel's Bleu de Chanel. It is a fantastic fragrance, but I've got an answer for you. A very inexpensive replacement or very similar fragrance to Bleu de Chanel, but that's right, Missoni's Parfum Pour Homme. Now the one that I have listed here is actually a tester, but still you get that magnetic lid, you get that wonderfully round, heavy bottle presentation. You've got lime leaf, you've got lime, you've got pink grapefruit, you've got spike lavender, you've got pomerose, you've got ginger, you've got jasmine, and also some Mediterranean herbs and spices in the heart. Patchouli, sandalwood, oak wood, birch, and musk is the base that it's resting on. It's got a lot of fragrant notes in it and that are very similar to Bleu de Chanel without the incense, but it does have kind of an incensey vibe, but more of a Mediterranean vibe. It's fantastic all weather, all year round wear for any occasion, and that's why it's the most expensive on this list, Missoni Parfum Pour Homme. Next up on my list is actually a clone, and while I typically don't recommend clones, I've talked about Dossier and Inspired by House in the past, this particular clone I recommend everyone owning. Club de Nuit Intense Man is Creed Aventus, down to that smoky, woody birch note. Apple, bergamot, blackcurrant, rose, birch, jasmine, patchouli. There's musk in here, there's vanilla in here. Similar components to Creed Aventus at a fraction of the cost. I'm putting the code for fragrance.net in the description. That's the RENG7. That still works, gives you 35% off. With this one, you're gonna get 27 and change. Fantastic deal, even for a clone. It smells so similar to Creed Aventus, especially if you're first starting out and you're wondering what Creed is like, this is going to give you the best bang for your buck. Next up is a classic fragrance for men. It's luxurious, it's masculine, it's not expensive, however, and I love that fact about it. Bentley for Men Intense came out in 2013. It's a boozy, leathery, rich wonder. It's a very powerful, heavy fragrance, so you want to be careful of the sprays, you know, especially if you're first starting out in fragrance and you're not sure how many sprays you want to put on. Try just a couple to begin with, because this has some killer sillage, some killer projection at first, before a couple of hours goes by, and then it dials down a little bit and pulls back. Some people are off-put by this fragrance. It is one of the truer fragrances that are intense. Some fragrances have extreme or intense in their name, but they're not very much of either. This one is a true intense. You've got black pepper, clary sage, cinnamon, rum, you've got woody notes, you've got benzoin, leather, sandalwood, frankincense. This one is another all-weather wear, but it does really, really good in cooler weather because of those darker, richer incense-like notes that are slightly resinous, slightly rummy. This one's going to cost you right around $30.54 at fragrance.net. Pretty much anywhere you go, it's going to be right around the $30 mark. But at that price, fantastic deal. Bentley for Men Intense. Next up is a fragrance that costs exactly the same as Bentley for Men Intense, and yet it goes in the opposite direction. It's more energizing, more invigorating, and more youthful. Mont Blanc Legend Spirit is their take on a Invictus-y vibing kind of fragrance. So it is very much like Invictus in that it's sweet, it's very youthful, it's great for if you're going clubbing. Now this one is geared more towards spring and summer, but you can wear it all year round as a signature scent. You've got cardamom, lavender, aquatic notes, you've got oak moss, you've got some cashmere wood in here. So it goes lots of different directions, but it carries that basic DNA of every man's modern fragrance that is similar to Invictus. Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. There are fewer fragrances better to enliven the spirit and make you feel good and also pull compliments than a coffee-based fragrance. And one of the better coffee-based fragrances that are super inexpensive but also really unique is from the house of Jesus Del Pozo. Halloween Man X has a really nice kind of bitter roasted coffee note in it that carries this fragrance, makes it a little bit more modern, a little bit more youthful, and really on the side of dressing semi-formally. So this one, as coffee-based fragrances are mostly casual wear fragrances, this one I say you could dress up just a little bit. Got great performance. Again, a really good compliment pulling factor. It's good for year-round wear, but it's mostly utilized, however, in a little bit cooler climes, a little bit cooler weather. Lavender, lemon, cardamom, leather. This has got some mineralic notes in it. It's got a nice whiskey note as well. Even though it's not boozy, that whiskey note is blended super well. And then the base, of course, tonka bean, amber, and frankincense. Fantastic trifecta. Excellent masculine coffee-based fragrance with a really high compliment pulling factor. Jesus Del Pozo's Halloween Man X. Another tobacco-based scent that can be worn year-round, but also has a really nice masculine, modern feel and sense to it. That's right, the inexpensive, super cheapy. At one point in time, I called this the king of cheapies. It's still kind of up there, really high in terms of value for a dollar that you're spending. You've got clementine, cucumber, lavender, basil, pepper, cashmere, patchouli, of course tobacco, and then a white musk in there as well. This one is a fantastic autumn and fall fragrance. It's great for cooler weather, and yet this one also has some components in it that make it really nice in warmer weather. I wouldn't say high heat, but spring and summer, when summer's beginning, fantastic fragrance, and for the cost, you can't beat CK1 Shock. Every man who likes tobacco fragrances especially should own this fragrance. This fragrance came out in 2009. It jumped on the hype train. It got a lot of hype for a long time. I didn't really see the hype, but it is a very solid performer, and definitely if you're starting out, it's worth owning. F. Pour Homme Black by Salvatore Ferragamo. You've got a nice apple and lavender duo in the top. You've got more lavender as an absolute in the heart. You've also got black pepper and coriander seed resting on a base of labdanum and tonka bean. This fragrance, I forgot how much that I liked it. It's just one of those great fragrances that if you're not sure what to wear to an event or to a gathering or just running around, paying bills or spending time with friends, this is just an all-around great casual wear fragrance that should be in every man's collection just because of how hyper versatile it is. And it's definitely under 30 bucks, under 25 bucks. It's right at 25.50. Excellent deal. Salvatore Ferragamo's F. Pour Homme Black. Next up is a fragrance that the more that I wear it, the more I really like it. And what's interesting though, it follows the DNA of the OG, the original, which I didn't like. Joop Homme Ice. Homme Ice is an amazing fragrance because it carries components of cool and hot, and that's why it's called ice. It's a great tobacco fragrance. Again, it smells similar to the OG, but to me, this is what the original Joop Homme should have been. I did mention that I wanted to include at least one date night fragrance for when you're feeling amorous, and you want something to wear that's going to be slightly alluring, seductive, and magnetic. And this one fits that bill with a fraction of the cost of many date night fragrances. Dunhill's Desire Red is a soft apple bergamot. I think it's got rose, it's got teak wood in it. To me, this is almost like a candle scent with a couple of notes in it that you must have in every date night fragrance, and that is musk and vanilla. Musk is sexy, vanilla is sweet, and it's a great duo of sweet and sexy. And that's definitely the DNA of Dunhill Desire Red. Fantastic date night fragrance, and it actually has some really good performance for a cheapie as well. And of course, no cheapie list would be complete and no starter kit list would be complete without this fragrance. That's right, it might have come out in 1988, but Davidoff's Cool Water is as relevant today as it was back then. Cool Water is a great aquatic, lavenderish aquatic fragrance. It's got some really nice aquatic notes. It stays in that really brisk, lightly modern, masculine lane. You can get a 125 ml bottle for less than 20 bucks. Davidoff Cool Water is a fantastic addition to any man's fragrance starter kit or collection. Now, I don't have the bottle in front of me because it's somewhere on the shelf back there. I just didn't have time to grab it up, but there's the graphic. You know the fragrance. Everybody knows the fragrance by now. Even if you're starting out in fragrance, you've probably worn this one. It's still very relevant, still worth owning. Well guys, that's it for my $250 beginner's starter kit for fragrance. Whether you're just getting started or you've been in fragrance for a while, these are fragrances that you definitely want to own for all the occasions. That's right, we want all the occasions, every occasion. If you feel like I'm missing some in this list that you have found that are great in a starter kit or are really good for the price, please let me know in the comments below. If you've got some experiences with these fragrances that you'd like to share, we'd certainly like to listen. Thanks so much for stopping by and checking out today's video, and as always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.